Alright, so today we've got an update video on something we talked about a while back, and the title pretty much gives it away. Yesterday, Ubi put out a blog post clarifying what Ubisoft Connect and the whole next-gen update means for Honor. And in it, they answered a bunch of questions that players have had ever since the next-gen announcement and the rollout of Ubisoft Connect. They basically laid out a bunch of stuff that we already knew, but they did let us know that cross-platform play isn't happening for the time being. They said that there are currently no plans to bring cross-platform play to For Honor, but we can play between generations. So all the PlayStation players, PS4 and PS5 can play together, and same thing goes for the Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One. Now, the reason this sort of surprised some people is because For Honor was one of the games listed to take advantage of the features that Ubisoft Connect offers sometime in the future. One of the features that Ubisoft Connect touts is cross-platform and cross-progression. Currently, there is a list of games that can take advantage of those features, and For Honor is not one of them. And since Ubi has not been very clear in their wording and seemingly keeping things vague as to not set anything in stone and have to backtrack later, left us with a bit of hope seeing For Honor's name on the list of games that will one day support Ubisoft Connect features. But this blog post sort of shoots that hope right out of the sky. Even if it wasn't going to come early on, crossplay is something that so many people were looking forward to. Crossplay is something that will eventually be a thing for all games going forward. The 3-platform split will no longer be an issue in the future, and people will be able to play with their friends from any platform if the game isn't an exclusive, of course. There are so many benefits to crossplay, and I won't even go over them all in this video. And when Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubi, said that crossplay was coming to all of Ubi's PvP-focused multiplayer titles, it was looking good for Honor, because For Honor is a heavily PvP focused multiplayer game. But now it isn't looking so good. Now the hope may be grounded for now, but who knows, maybe it can hit the skies again one day in the future. But this blog post left a lot of people, myself included, feeling pretty disappointed. I was personally looking forward to crossplay for a few reasons, even if we weren't going to get crossplay within even the next year. One, so that matchmaking times would improve, because playing solo on PC, at least for me, will result in some pretty slow matchmaking. It's not uncommon for me to hit the 15-minute mark and have to re-queue. Another reason is so that I could finally stop being matched with the same people all the time. If you play on console, this probably isn't an issue. And this isn't a knock on the people I do run into, but I like fighting against new people and seeing new names and fighting different people, fighting people who don't all know each other already, so that the same stacks aren't fighting each other, or you're not running into the same stack like 5 times in a 2 or 3 hour play session. And I also want to be able to play with you guys on other platforms, or hold cross-platform fight clubs, or play with my friends who refuse to switch to PC. I think it worked now more than ever, as I think with the Core Combat update, things would be closer than ever. Before the CCU, if you were to place an Xbox player and a PC player in the same lobby, the PC player has a pretty noticeable advantage in frame rate and, input delay. But now the advantage would be lessened. It would still be there for sure, but not as noticeable. And it would be less noticeable with the next-gen consoles and PC if the new consoles have worked out all the delays, as we already know that they're going to be supporting 60 frames per second. At least we now know for a fact that cross-generation play is a thing, no more wondering if it will be a thing. As I said a minute ago, they let us know in the blog post that console families can play with each other, which has its ups and downs. Depending on how the game runs on next gen with the upgrade, you could be matched with players that have an advantage. Granted, the CCU is still a thing, but the next gen versions will be playing with a higher frame rate. We don't know about input delay or anything like that until, we get our hands on it, but if it's comparable to PC, then yeah, there will be an advantage. So you'll have players like me on PS5 with my Rep 25 account on my upgraded console fighting against other low rep players who are playing on, the day one last gen consoles, playing For Honor for like the 10th time. All because I can't carry my progress over with me. On the upside, that does mean that the player base won't be split in 5 different ways instead of 3, so that's something if you want to look at it that way. Speaking of that, cross progression is also important, almost equally as important in my opinion. People have spent years playing this game, grinding out reps and fashion and getting limited time items that may never come back, spending their steel, whether they spent time earning it in game or spent their actual hard-earned money on it. And this is a generation year, and people may switch sides. Yes, next-gen progression between console families are cool, so if you're moving from PS4 to PS5, you're all good. But do you understand how many people don't have brand loyalty or whatever you want to call it and will happily switch to the other family for whatever reason? Maybe you saw how many great exclusives PlayStation had throughout the past few years, and as an Xbox player, you want in on some of those games, so you get a PS5. Maybe you're a fan of Xbox Game Pass and think that'll work out for you and switch from PlayStation to Xbox, or maybe you like how the Xbox seems to be more powerful. Maybe you're tight on money this holiday season, but it's been a tough year, so you trade in your PS4, a few games, a few controllers and whatnot, and grab the cheaper Xbox Series S to treat yourself and family and hop into the next console generation. You know, there are so many reasons. Hell, you could be one of the many people over the past few years that just wanted to play the game with their friends on PC but don't want to because they'll have to start all over. And if they get, the basic edition, they'll have to buy the heroes and whatnot again. Cross progression and even cross-platform play. Are you kidding? Cross progression and even cross-platform play is slowly becoming the new normal, even if there are issues with, purchases moving from one family to another. We've seen PvP games do it already over the past few years, and we see devs committing to it for the future. And it's just the next step. And if you don't like it, you can just disable it in these games. And let's say someone does switch to a new generation and traded in their old console for credit towards the new one or cash toward a new one. What is going to make them come back to For Honor, if they don't have access to the game anymore for free? They'll have to get the game all over again and start over from scratch. For Honor may be a one-of-a-kind game. You can't get this experience anywhere else, but there will be many other games vying for players' attention. Games that will be made exclusively for next gen or allow players to play with their friends from all over. The next gen upgrade, might bring people back. The next season, a new hero may bring people back. But if you want to excite people again, you've got to start dropping info now. Xbox released today. PlayStation drops in 2 days, and the next gen update doesn't even arrive until next month. So again, with the game feeling more stale, with less content brought on by unseen events, what's going to bring these players back? Especially if they left because of the core combat update, like plenty of people have, or are feeling like the game is being supported less and facing its end with what I just said. Why would these people come back? You guys know I'm generally pretty optimistic when it comes to For Honor's future, but one thing Ubi hasn't nailed when it comes to For Honor is communication and making people look forward to things. I'm not pinning this on the devs themselves or anyone working on the game because we don't know what's going on and we don't know what sort of information they can share. But we're approaching the end of year 4. We now know that crossplay isn't happening for now. That could change, but for now, it's not. We're going to be receiving a new hero next month, and then what? We haven't gotten the roadmap for November, We know that they plan on supporting the game next year, but will it be like this year? Will it be like year 4? We don't even have weekly communication like we used to, so there's less to chew on or prepare for. I know it won't happen for obvious reasons, but I'd love to know if Ubi ever plans on doing true cross progression or cross play, or if they're not, rather than the, there are currently no plans type of thing. I would just like to know a concrete answer. But, oh well, who knows? Maybe this is just what it is. Or maybe Ubi has something hiding up their sleeve that they haven't told us about yet. But with the way things are looking now, For Honor doesn't look like it'll be, going on as long as some of the other games out there. Maybe that'll change. Again, we don't know what they have planned for this game moving forward or even the For Honor IP. So maybe there's something waiting for us. Or, maybe, just maybe, we could say goodbye to this game in favor of a new one. I'm not hopping off of this hill. I'm going to keep preaching for a new game. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. I just wanted to keep you all in the loop and let you know what's going on in For Honor while giving my thoughts on this whole situation. Today we hopped into the new generation with the Xbox Series X. If you got one, congrats. And in 2 days, the PS5 will drop, and I'm hoping that I can get my hands on one. If I can't, I guess I'll just wait. But as always, I do want to know what you guys think, so talk to me down in the comments about anything we talked about in this video. And also, if you liked the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.